it's always one thing to think positively about money and finances, but it's a whole other thing because that is the one tangible thing that you need in order to move things forward, in order to improve your life. So the way to go about that is a whole huge topic, which someone here is ready to break down for us, and especially our relationship with others and finances. Her name is Rina Hacks, and she is an investment banker and an author and my own very personal financial guru. She's very good at what she does, and she's here to demystify the issue of love and money. Welcome. Come out here, hon. Hello. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you for having me back.
It is our pleasure, absolutely. Well, today we're going to focus a little bit on love and money. Yeah, but before we get there, I think it's very important that we go back to the foundation of how we understand money.
Yeah.
As children, especially my generation, we're just told it's not there. Don't talk about it.
Yeah.
And when you get it, it was awesome, you know. But there wasn't too much in terms of education. Whereas today, you can tell young people the banks are addressing them. There's room for kids to do with finances. Why is it important to have a foundation as an individual?
It's very important, and the foundation needs to be right because that foundation forms your habits, it forms your attitude, it forms your beliefs where money is concerned. And really, this is the core that determines how you will do later on in life.
Yeah.
So if you have the wrong beliefs, you have the wrong attitudes, you'll never make it. If you have, you hear people say rich people are corrupt, or, somebody who's been brought up knowing money doesn't grow on trees, so money is very difficult to come by. And so they'll always believe that. And so if you have the wrong beliefs about money, then it will affect every area of your life. In fact, the Bible says money answers everything.
Right.
It starts with money, and it's the truth. I mean, if you look at all the collapses we've had, all the different challenges we've had, it's because of money, because of greed. It all comes to money. And so if you have the right foundation, then you're sorted.
Okay. What is the right foundation? There are parents who are watching you now who've never had a conversation with the 8, 9, 10-year-olds about money. Because for them, they've come from that generation of it's not to be talked about, it's not there, it's hard to come by. How do you create that foundation?
I think first of all, talk about money, because one of the problems and one of the reasons we start having challenges in our relationships where money is concerned is because we just generally find it hard to talk about, because when we grew up, our parents never talked about it. We didn't know whether we had enough or not, or how things are. So it's just this secret that's in the house. We're not too sure. We just know it's not enough.
Yeah.
And so if you teach children to talk about money, to be free with expressing themselves where money is concerned, and helping them understand that you can make money, even as a 5-year-old, you can start to teach a child, this is 1 shilling, this is 2 shillings, and money is earned. It's not just found somewhere. It is earned. And giving them opportunities to earn that money, and talking about, okay, what do you want to spend your money on? Do you know that if you spend all of it, you will have none left? And things like that, and allowing them the freedom to make the choices, because it's through experiencing using the money and that experience of spending it themselves that they actually start to get lessons that even if you spoke until you turned blue, nothing would happen and no change would happen for the child. So it's have the money conversations, give them opportunities to earn and to know that they can, even at their age, earn money. I heard of a parent who actually arranged for his children, they're now grown up, he arranged for his children to work at his friends' offices and told the friends, look, just give them the opportunity to work there. I will pay them, but I'll give you the money for them. And so whether it's filing, making tea, whatever it is, just allow them to come and work. And he would pay his children, but through his friend. And so as far as his children were concerned, they had a job and they earned an income. And so that helped them know, okay, so this is what I need to do. I can work and I'm capable. And so I think it's just helping people understand they are capable. And it's not just one single job you can earn from. You can do all kinds of things, make multiple income streams, and you will be able to do it. But if somebody feels money is not available, it's difficult to come by. If you're a teacher and you have a job, you're just comfortable with that job. You don't even want to, your issue is now job security, and really that's not what it should be. No, because there's so many things to accomplish and things to be done. I'm reminded, I'm sorry, I'm digressing a little, but I'm reminded of a document. It was actually the newspaper, Nation newspaper. It was June 6th, I remember, 2016. And they were reviewing a research report that was done by the the Kenya Bureau of Statistics and Institute for Economic Affairs. And they said that Kenyans are spending 102% of what they earn.
Wow.
On average. And that's generally. When you come to urban centers like Nairobi, that goes to about 120%. That is scary stuff, Kobe.
We're spending money we don't have.
Yes, and why? Is it because we're not making it? What is the reason? Is it because we're just, everything is so expensive in Kenya?
We're acquiring.
And spending all of it. And so, you know, I think the key thing here is to help people understand that you need to live within a certain boundary where money is concerned. And if you are restricted and you earn very little, then find ways to increase that income, because it's possible.
It is possible.
Yes.
One thing I can definitely say, I mean, it sounds great when you put it as you have.
Yeah.
But there is a sense of, I guess, especially for young people, you know, if your mom is hustling, if your dad is hustling, and you can see it, they don't need to tell you that they are sort of in the place where they're struggling to make ends meet. You know, it's living check to check. It's about paying bills. It's about that. It's very difficult for that kind of individual to start giving you wonderful financial life lessons. It's very hard for them to just say, I mean, the guy has a SACCO loan, he's got a car loan, he's got school fees to pay, he's not gotten a raise in the last decade, no promotions happening. That kind of individual, you'll find very, very hard to tell them, you need to go educate your son about why it's important to save, why it's, if they themselves don't have the tools and the know-how, or they found themselves in the red so much. And that is the case for millions of Kenyans who are just like, who has time? How do I educate this young person? When me, myself, I don't even know how I'm going to get myself out of this fix. What do you say to those people?
So first is to recognize the fix that you're in and to start sorting that out.
Okay.
As for yourself. Because again, when you're parenting, the lessons are not taught, they're caught. And so you may try and teach, but they will look at your life. So it will be an exercise in futility.
Right.
So the first thing you must do is work on yourself. In fact, your own story and your own life will be such a huge lesson for the child. So it's first taking a step back and saying, why am I in this rut? Why am I stuck? Why is it that I cannot be able to live within the amount of money that I am able to make at the moment? And what can I do to change that? And take time to invest in improving and increasing your financial IQ.
Right.
And just understanding, how can I be more financially literate? How can I get more? I want to give you a story, and this story was covered in one of the stations in Nairobi. And it was a story of a man called Kibe. In fact, his nickname is Kibe Wamei. Okay. This story, I mean, it went viral, by the way, and it went, you know, it was, I think, 2 years ago.
Okay.
He's a maize vendor. You know, these guys who stand by the street, you know, fanning the maize, and he roasted maize. That was what he did. So what he would do, he would wake up early in the morning. At dawn, he would be polishing shoes, all right? Because at that time in the morning, people are not buying maize.
Right.
Then when he's done with the polishing of the shoes, he then now does maize. And so as people would come, as they're going back home, and during the day, they'd be buying his maize. So he looked at his situation and he saw, by the way, I will do this until I'm 100. And I will have no money. So he decided, and he thought to himself, if I just saved 200 shillings every day, how much would that be in 10 years? And he was astonished, because it was like, yeah, this is money I can actually do something with.
Right.
And do you know, Kobe, he started to save diligently, putting away 200 shillings. 14 years later, it's a long time.
That's a long.
It's a long time. But you see, he was like, there's no other way.
Right.
This is what I know to do. And this is the work I have. In fact, the program was called Kazi ni Kazi. This is what I know to do. So he started fanning. He did what he could. He saved until he had 850,000 shillings.
Wow, impressive.
He used that 850,000 shillings and got a SACCO loan to top up. And at that time, which is 2 years ago, he had bought a minibus, employed a conductor and a driver. And he had a matatu, basically, a minibus, big one, beautiful, new, brand new minibus that was operating a very busy route. I think it's Isili. And he continued with his maize job, because he was like, by the way, this maize job is what got me there. And he put a karai and a maize cob of a burnt maize, not burnt, but roasted maize on top to show guys, this is where, this work that you dharau, this is what got the money that. So what am I trying to say? It doesn't matter what you do or how much you earn. The key thing is to figure out, with this income that I have, if I'm not able to meet my basic needs, I need another income.
Right.
And with that other income, I need to save and put money away and manage that money in such a way that over time, I can grow. And that income plus good management plus time is equal to wealth, irrespective of whether you're a house help, whether you're a student, you're an investment banker, you're a doctor, it doesn't matter. Because what you find is with the different professions, people spend. I mean, there's a game I like to play called Cash Flow by Robert Kiyosaki. And that game has cards, and you're dealt a card, and you could be a janitor, you could be a doctor, a teacher, anything.
Yeah.
And you know, depending on your occupation, you earn a certain salary, but there's certain obligations. You have a child, there's a certain school they will go to if you're a doctor. You drive a certain car if you're a doctor. You live in a certain neighborhood. So your expenses balloon, and at the end of the day, when you look at net worth, you and the janitor are the same.
Right.
You know that?
Yes.
So people feel, those guys earn so much money. It's not about how much you earn. It's about how much do you keep. And how do you manage what resources are in your hands right now?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting. Now, one of the things I can definitely say is for young people who are watching, because this first part we're focusing on the foundation.
Yes.
A lot of young people have not even had the sweet taste of your first salary.
Yeah.
Right? How many people here have enjoyed the first salo? Just put your hand up. Fantastic, fantastic. Not very many, right? But how many people want to enjoy the fruits of the first salo? Yeah? These are the guys I want to target, basically everybody. People who have spent money that they haven't made yet.
Yeah.
You've already spent it in your mind. You already spent it. When it lands, it will just go. Speaking of that, it's important to, before you get that first income, to sort of have a navigation tool or a framework of how you're going to be dealing with salary. And a lot of young people don't know how to go about that. Let's talk about the first income. You know, your first salary. What should you do with your first salary? Because that, I think, is the gate that opens up everything else that is to follow.
So there's so many schools of thought. I think for the first salary, only just the first.
Yeah.
You can buy yourself whatever you want.
Okay.
And you can use all of it. Just the first salary.
Really?
Imagine. So I'm like, it's the first salary you have. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
But after that, month 2, now you need to have structure. So I'd say that with your first salary, in terms of when you first start earning, it's important to know that any income you earn, you must at a minimum put aside 10%. And that is very little, by the way. 10% of any income. Yani Kobe, you have this show, you earn money. You sell shoes somewhere, you earn money. You sell something else, you have a salon somewhere. Every income you earn, at a minimum of 10% must go into your savings.
Okay.
Must. If you can do more, the better. For guys who are still living with their parents or their brother and don't pay rent, that should go up to even 40%.
Okay.
So the more you can put aside, the more you'll be able to build wealth with. And so it's not an issue of, I'm jinyimaing, I'm punishing myself. That shouldn't be the attitude. It's excitement of, oh my gosh, I'm going to be wealthy.
Right.
This is setting me up for the future. Because the reality is 80% of Kenyans who retire poor.
Yeah.
It's very sad. But if you can decide from today, I'm 19, I'm starting to earn my salary, then you can start putting aside money, and it's amazing how it grows over time. So that's what I would say. Okay. Then after you've put aside the rest, I mean, whether you take rent of 12,000, those are details. Yeah. The important thing is to first set it aside and then now decide how you want to spend the rest once you've put aside that 10%, minimum 10%. If you can do more, better.
But it means that then, in a sense, if if you're earning, your first salary is 50,000, right, for example, and you are to put away a chunk of that, it means that your cost of living and your standard of living are something that should really come into play as a young person.
Yes.
You need to put into consideration, just because you're getting this 50K doesn't mean now you can move out. No, not at all. It doesn't mean that now you can buy that new whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that at all. And I think a lot of us, that's mentally where we are.
Yeah.
It's the moment the money comes, I need to get that thing that I've always wanted. and that attitude, I guess, needs to change as well.
So it doesn't, you can get it, but there's a process to getting it. So you can say, I'm going to save X amount of money for the next 6 months, 12 months to get this thing I've always wanted.
Right.
Just delay a little bit, and then you'll be able to afford it. But then if you get it with all the 50,000 all at once, then
there's something there.
Yeah, then you miss out on an opportunity to grow the money a lot faster.
Okay, fantastic. Give it up for Rina, guys. Yeah, she's great. Okay, so when we come back, we talk about when your salary is being waited for by everybody. Kila mtu anangojea hiyo salo ingie ndio itoke. I mean, we have those people. We have relas, we have you have children, you have all of these bills to pay. Mshwari, my friendship, all right? We'll be right back after this. Good good stuff. I actually subscribe to your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even your book, the first time we met, you and I, season 1 of the show, it sits on my coffee table, and I look at it. I haven't read it.
You need to.
I do. I need to read it.
Even if it's such an easy read. Most people tell me within 2 hours they were done.
Yeah, it's a very easy read.
It's an easy read.
And the reason I'm saying this is because sometimes we feel that our financial problems can be fixed like that. I'll read this book and I'll be ready. I'll have money next week. And it's never the case, right?
No, it doesn't work that way.
Okay, but listen, the name of your book?
Moneywise.
Moneywise, yes.
Create, Grow, and Preserve.
And it's available?
mymook.com.
Okay, fantastic. Guys, log on to social media platforms where we'll connect you to Rina and how you can get access to that book. It's a very good one. When I finish my copy, I will pay it forward to someone.
Please do.
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
Speaking of pay, we all are waiting for payday, mwisho wa mwezi, so we can get paid.
Yeah.
But so are other people. There are so many people waiting on our one little salary. Yeah, if it's not your bank,
the kiosk guy down the road,
the road, your sako,
Yeah.
your chama, your hairdresser who you didn't pay because you know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Guys in shags, Mshwari is there waiting to just take it.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody is waiting for your salo, and so by the time you actually even manage to get your head around it has landed, it's already walking out. And that's what a lot of Kenyans are facing. They're swimming in debt, not being able to manage their loans properly. What do you do when that happens?
I think you need to start with the end in mind.
Okay.
Because when you know what it is you want to do or obligations that are coming, so say for instance, you have a desire to have a home.
Yeah.
You have a desire, you have a child, or you have a dependent, and you have a desire to see them go to school. When you put those projections or those goals in mind, and you say, okay, so 10 years from now, I'm going to need 6 million for this.
Yeah.
5 years from now, I'll need 1 million for this. And you're like, how am I going to get there if I'm ending up negative 2,000 at the end of every month? It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So when you do that reality check of just looking at where are you now, really, how much do I spend every month? How much do I own? Do I have any assets? How much do I owe? Who do I owe money? How much is it? How much do I earn? When you've done that reality check, then you're just like, wow, I need to make a change in my life. There's nothing else. There's nothing I will say. I can talk here until next week, but nothing will change in the way that you spend money until you start thinking through your life. There's a gentleman, he's an older man, and he's an amazing gentleman. And I walked up to him and I said, look, I want you to mentor me. I mean, I watched his life. He used to be the chairman of the church I used to go to.
Okay.
And I observed him. I observed the way he handles his kids, his business, and all the things he had been able to accomplish. And I told him, can you just give me 2 hours? I will come to your house, we'll have tea, and I just want to hear, I have a few questions to ask. And he told me, what you do, I was 28 at this time. Okay. He told me, draw a timeline of your life. Start at this age you are, every 7 years until you are 82. And just write down every 5 years, what are the things that you want to be able to have accomplished, whether that's being married, having a child, what are the things you want to be able to do, afford a home, go to this country, travel, do all these things. Just, it's a white canvas. Write whatever comes.
Right.
That exercise was life transforming because I realized, hey, first of all, these 3 things can't happen at the same time.
Yeah.
This needs to be moved. Actually, I have time. I don't have to be stressed. Oh, I need all this, Because sometimes we behave like that even in the way that we invest. So we invest short term, thinking only 1 year, 2 years. You have all this time. And then when you're 82 and no money is coming through, what happens?
Exactly.
So that
you become that Rela who's waiting for that salary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that helped me. So somebody needs to first do that. Because how if you know all these things that you want to do, when I'm at 40, when I'm at 50, I'll have these kids and I want them to go to school and when you have that reality check is when you're like, by the way, something has to change. Yeah. Either I reduce my spending or I get another income source because it can't work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, looking at, of course, the fact that a lot of people are unable. I think in the West, there was a time, guys, I worked 4 jobs.
4? I
worked 4 jobs. My friends used to call me Jamaican because Jamaicans work multiple jobs.
Wow.
But I did, and it was because I was saving to move here. I was saving to move back to Kenya. So I bartended. I worked at an architectural firm as an editor. I've kind of volunteered at Smithsonian as a photographer's assistant, and I worked at a retail store. Yes.
How many hours a week?
I used to do, I literally did all jobs in a week, in 1 week, every day.
Did you sleep at all?
Yeah, I mean, not really, but you know, it was the pursuit. That was, but here, and I remember my work ethic at the time was amazing. I would not stop because I had a goal in mind. And so it was very easy to sort of achieve the things and to save because I was doing it purposefully.
Yes.
But here now in Kenya, where you have, you know, the economy is performing the way it is, especially this year, where you have a lot of people who are seeking for jobs, where the market is not so open to people even having more than one job. How does that affect that sort of thinking, in a sense?
I think irrespective of where we are as an economy, people are still getting their hair done, people are still buying shoes, people are still eating.
Cars.
People are still buying cars. People
Apartments
are spending money.
being sold left, right, and center.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what you need to ask yourself is, how do I get a piece of what is being spent? How can I make the person who is spending their money spend it on something I am offering? So the best place to start is to look at what are the talents and the skills that I have. There's somebody, a friend of mine, I won't say who he is because everybody here knows him. He told us of a story of how he started earning money. He was in high school, all right, a 14-year-old. Went to high school and he realized, hey, these people like to write letters to girls. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
And he was an artist. And so he told them, oh, I can help you write. And he used to do calligraphy.
Nice.
And he'd sell. So he says, give me your piece of paper, what you want to write.
Your love letter.
Your love letter.
Yeah.
I will put it in a nice handwriting and you can buy it for me for 20 bob. He used to make 1,000 shillings a week.
What?
How old is this guy? Form 1. Form 1.
That's impressive.
So what am I saying? These are students who are paying him money. So economy
doesn't matter.
For me, it doesn't.
There's
a need. There is a need. So your goal is to identify what is that need. Today, somebody will tell me, oh, you know, I'm a good advertiser, I'm a good marketer, but people are not marketing. They're not. You know they are, but they've shifted from where? From TV to from newspaper to the digital space.
Right.
So it's about watching the trends. It's about understanding how do I satisfy this need that exists more efficiently, more effectively, more cost friendly, in a manner that will attract people to me. So it's about just trying to tap into what God has given you, which is an amazing brain that makes beautiful things like these, to think through how can I use the talents, the skills, the competencies I have to gain additional income. And it may not be that you can even put away more time. There's a pastor who shared this story with me of a security guard called Wafula.
Yeah.
And Wafula worked at this particular office block in Kilimani. And his wife worked there. So he decided there was something he needed to do in her office. So he drove there and Wafula came, said hello to him. How are you? What is your name? And he shared his name and he said, what office would you like to go to? And he told him, then Wafula told him, it's on this floor, second floor, turn left, it's here, and have a wonderful day. And then Wafula walked him into the building, pressed the second floor on the lift and said bye and went back. This guy was like, hey, where's this guy from? So Wafula did like that.
Yeah.
2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, he went back to visit his wife in the office to do something else. He comes back, Wafula greets him by his first name.
Wow.
Says, yes, so-and-so is in the office and have a wonderful time. Walks him again and presses by there. He's just like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Where is he from?
Leaving impressions.
Somebody who dignifies this job that everybody, in fact, now Wafula became counselor for woman on 6th floor. Marriage counselor for a man on 3rd floor.
The go-to guy.
The go-to guy.
Right.
One day Wafula told everybody, I have a church in Kibera and it has come time for me to quit my job to go and now focus on being a pastor. Guys were like, there is no way. You're leaving where? To go where? And do what? No. And Wafula said, no, God has called me.
Yeah.
Do you know these guys threw him a party and said, tell us, how much do you need to set up this church? What do you need? Benches? What? Tell me. Tell us. This guy was given every single coin he needed to set up his church, plus more.
That's amazing.
All I'm saying is, whatever it is that you are doing, if people recognize that you are a good manager of the resources that are placed in your hands, and you just turn you are so excellent in everything that you do, they will want to work with you. You will find businessmen coming to you, Kobe, and saying, listen, how can you come and be a partner in my business?
Right.
Because you have an ability to just turn stuff into gold. You know, they say the Midas touch.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. It's hard work.
It's hard work.
And and diligence, consistency,
Yeah.
hard work, trustworthiness, faithfulness. And you know, it's what you do with what you have.
Yeah.
If you leave the house, you've not made your bed, you know, there's cockroaches everywhere in your house. You don't bother painting the leak that was there or fixing the roof because you're renting, you will not get your own house. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
But as soon as even God sees that what He's placed in your hands, you're able to turn it into something beautiful and make something good out of it, you will find resources being attracted to you. Ideas will come and people want to partner and even finance you because they know you are trustworthy, that you are good at what you do, and they know that if they partner with you, there will be success.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Great advice, right? Yes, really good advice. It's now about implementing.
Yeah.
It's about implementing. It's one thing to listen to Rina. She's very good at what she says, but one thing is
Implementing.
Really about application
Yeah.
of some of this advice. So when we come back in just a few minutes, we'll be talking about love. Oh my God, the other thing.
The other
The
one.
two things that confuse humans the most,
Yeah.
love and money, right? And
Yeah.
the two somehow have decided to join hands, and a lot of us don't know what to do when that happens,
Yeah.
and we just don't have enough discussions. And there's an amazing event that's happening that you can't miss out on, and it's happening this week. So make sure you stay tuned for the third part of this great show. We'll be right back after this, everybody.